afternoon, everyone. Nice to see you now that I've lowered my computer. Hope you're all doing well today. Roll call, please, Georgia.
Mayor Brook,
Here.
Vice Mayor Matera Bowen,
Here.
Commissioner Sarah,
Present.
Commissioner Simmons,
Here.
Commissioner McHugh,
Here.
City Manager Givens,
Here.
City Attorney Hearn.
Here.
Thank you.
Great, if everybody would please rise. Join us in a moment of silence for whomever might be in your hearts. Thank you so much. And we will have the Vice Mayor lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you, everyone. Next is public comment. Do we have any signed speakers?
Mayor, you have one signed speaker, Joe Marrera.
All right. Good afternoon, Joe. Welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. Joe Marrera, 3275 Northwest 114th Lane. In June Commission's meeting, the Commission took the infrequent action of disagreeing with city staff recommendation to increase the local business tax by 5%. This would have been or resulted in a minuscule increase of approximately $8 for the businesses. Many reasons were stated that validated your actions in support of this business community. I'm sure this was a welcome relief for the business owners. I anticipate that the same logical and sensible positions you expressed then will be applied to us, the residents. It is time that we get the needed relief that many members of our community are in need of. Please continue to be the advocate that we need and want at this time. I appreciate your time. Have a good day.
You're welcome, Joe. Would anybody else from the public like to be heard? All right, seeing none. Oh, I do have Robert. Come on up, Robert. I saw the hand. Michael is going to help you up. Michael's going to give you a hand.
We got a portable.
We'll bring you a mic.
Good, thank you.
Hello, everybody. Mr. Mayor and Commission,
Hello.
I want to bring out something that happened at one of the previous commission meetings where we presented $800,000 for, and since we're talking about budgets, and going to be talking about budgets and millage rates and so on and so forth, we presented for computers $800,000. And then I pulled up the actual expense for those budget at a public request, and it came to $661,000. Now, this gentleman over here explained a little bit as to how possibly it works. But I think the clarity is very important because as much as I've done budgets throughout my life, and I've done a lot of budgets, gentlemen, ladies, explanation is very important as to what the variance is and why, so that we understand what it is that we're actually paying for. Because when you listen to it, it's $800,000. But when you actually pull up the expense, it's $661,000. So why the variance? And it should be explained. That's my number one question. Now, number two question is I noticed something in, and it's not, I don't want to be controversial, but sometimes you have to be, because I'm a taxpayer advocate, and you guys know me, and I miss you guys. I'm sorry that I had to spend 8 weeks in a rehab center for my leg for playing racquetball and black ball handball and varsity basketball and so on and so forth. So I'm paying the price. As my mother told me, you will pay the price. We have SUVs in the police department, a lot of them. We don't have enough cars. SUVs get 10 to 12 miles per gallon, especially when you run them most of the day that they're in operation. Why don't we have a good balance of cars versus SUVs so that we save expenses? Just show the public that there's a little bit of savings there, to say the least. So it really needs some explanation as to why we do some of the things that we do, and yet we're spending money. And this is a time when times are rough, and they have been rough for years now. This is nothing new. The important thing about budgeting is it's important to throw an actual next to it. So when you guys are approving these items on these agendas, it's important to show how the public understands the variance numbers so that it's clear for a guy like me, so I don't have to get up and say stupid things or sound stupid. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you. You're heard. You're heard. Anybody else from the public like to be heard? All right, public comment is closed. We're up to special meeting items, starting with number 1, a presentation of fiscal year 2026 budget and business plan. Good afternoon.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. Today, we're bringing the TRIM and our non-ad valorem assessments for review. So, there we go. Our agenda for this evening, we'll go through a strategic planning process and then work our way through from strategic planning to where we are today. Our vision is to be the premier community in which to live, work, and raise a family. From that, we have our 5 strategic goals, and this is the guide and the framework for our strategic plan. Vision to action is where we are taking the strategic plan that we have currently, and we're continuing to focus on that. The main things that we're focusing on this year is the workforce that we have in place already, the city vision, which is the strategic plan, and of course our capital, which is large infrastructure, master plans, things like that, just large ticket items. All of this information for our strategic plan, our vision, is coming through information that we are getting from our residents. We are a listening city. We listen to our residents. We have lots of information that comes into the city that we utilize. We listen through input, we learn through data, and then we take that information, we bring it to the commission through workshops, we bring it through strategic planning, we get our strategic plan in place, adopted, and that is the framework, as I mentioned earlier, and the guide for how we are doing all the work that we do in the city. Just a quick recap, Vision 2035, this started in October of 2022. It was an 18-month process, and from that Vision 2035 was the groundwork for the 7 themes. And these 7 themes kept coming up in the surveys that the residents were submitting for the Vision 2035. From there, we were able to put together the strategic plan that we are currently living. There's short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals in the strategic plan. We're focusing on the short-term right now, building into the mid-term, which then lends itself into the long-term items. So as you know, in February, we all were together for 2 days. We had an opportunity to bring strategic planning, lots of conversation, opportunity to look at the existing strategic plan, where we're going, and making sure that is the path that you want to continue moving through. We adopted our strategic plan. That is available online on the website on coralsprings.gov/budget. You can find it under our budget documents and see what our strategic plan is for 2026. Just really quick, focusing on ARPA, because in fiscal year 22, we were given $20 million. This was a big opportunity to really put funds to do a lot of work in the city. Thankfully, we were able to encumber all of the funding by the deadline, which was December 31st, 2024. And now we are finalizing all of the projects, which must be completed by December 31st, 2026. And we're making good strides. You can see all $20 million has been encumbered, with a good majority having been spent already. I want to just pause for quick moment and focus on all that we've done so far in fiscal year '25. This is a moment to really celebrate the wins. We talk about these when we come to the workshops, and we've gone through Q1 and Q2. And really here, this is an opportunity to highlight our premier public safety. Our city remains a premier community in which to live, work, and raise a family because of our top-rated full-service police department and our fire department. Our fire department remains ISO Class 1 certified. We do have our own dispatch, and we provide outstanding response times. And we also have a real-time crime center, which we did actually recently receive appropriation funding of $500,000 for. These things are reasons that we continue to be surveyed by residents where they love to call Coral Springs home. Our real-time crime center saw a lot of the value during June 14th on the No Kings protest day, and it really let our police officers ensure the safety of our residents as well as those protesting. We have CS RIPS, the Coral Springs Regional Institute for Public Safety. They have maintained their accreditation. Our AEDs in the parks, which actually we have one in the back. This is proven to be life-saving, and the Commission, as you know, you just recently recognized how valuable the AEDs are at the last Commission meeting that we had. We have school resource officers in every public school, and they not only provide the highest level of safety, they are mentoring and building bridges for the youth in our city. And then Traffic Thursdays, our aggressive driving unit, successful through Traffic Thursdays, are seeing a result in a reduction in traffic accidents. These are all positive things, and we really should celebrate everything that's already happened. Here we have community building, lots of exciting pictures here. We're proud of the work that city staff has put into our sustainability action plan. We've done composting, outreach workshops. We are actually Gold LEED certified now, and we are only the second city in Broward County to be Gold LEED certified, and this is a great accomplishment with the goal of being a more sustainable Coral Springs. We continued work on our water treatment plant design and future implementation. Our Neighborhoods with Integrity team hosted events that brought communities together, and we've started planning for future community gatherings. And the picture right in the middle is really a great testament to our highlight on community building, as we welcomed 13 new families to Coral Springs through Habitat for Humanity, all hardworking families that now call Coral Springs home. That project really enhanced the Riverside Corridor, and we do have more things programmed there to really enhance the neighboring parks in that community.
I feel like that was one of our greatest accomplishments.
I agree.
Great teamwork. And I love the picture of you, Sean. Top right, you look awesome. Very happy. And it's good to see you working.
Yes, thank you.
And then another reason that residents love to call Coral Springs home is our park amenities and special programming. So we had wonderful park upgrades to the aquatics complex, and that really led the way to the creation and a new era of the city-run Swim Coral Springs program. This is an opportunity where we have the facility to develop future Olympic hopefuls, but also we have the ability to host swim meets, and that is an opportunity for revenue diversification. The top right, solar lighting in the parks, not just sustainable, but it allows our parks to be used longer and into the evening hours so that our residents have more time in our parks, and it improves the overall aesthetics of the city. Seeing the smiles on seniors and the commission during Dancing with the Seniors, that was a really fun event. Celebrating milestones at the Senior Center at Sartori Hall. You've definitely seen improved programming that's been well received by our older population. That programming is in addition to our focus on persons with exceptionalities for our special event programming, parks programming, and events and activities at our museum. So all of these things are definitely an increase. So hosting a town hall and hearing from our families ensures that we continue to meet the needs of our community. Public education. We are officially in budget public education time. We're setting our trim now. A trim notice will go out in the middle of August, and once you have your trim notice, we are available to start helping you work through the information that's on there. We're available through Budget and Brews on the dates listed here. Through feedback last year, we also have a virtual option, Wednesday, August 20th at 12 p.m. There is going to be a sign up for that. I believe it's already live on the website. And we do have some information on the budget website that helps read through the tax bill, as well as our existing budget book for this year and prior years. Just as a reminder, when you get your tax bill, the City of Coral Springs is not the entire tax bill. We are 30% of that, less than 30% of the ad valorem property taxes. The other 6 taxing authorities make up the rest of the property tax bill. Transparency is critical. We are transparent. We have our dashboard. This is coralsprings.clearpointstrategy.gov. This has our key performance indicators and key intended outcomes. This really highlights the strategic plan and how we are moving on those points. So if you have any, want to see where we are meeting the metrics of our strategic plan, this is the website to visit. This just highlights when we say we want to be the premier community in which to live, work, and raise a family, we've identified what premier means and where we are striving to be. Chart of our total full-time employees. You can see we do have, the yellow is contract. These are contract employees that we provide services to 2 other cities, so we do indicate them out separately. And our total right now is 935 city employees that are not contract employees. And our productivity, this shows full-time employees to total residents per 1,000 residents. So we have 135,000 residents. The 935 that are specifically for the City of Coral Springs puts us under the average productivity, which is about 10.3 employees per 1,000 residents. So you can see that we are a highly productive city. Quick pause. Year-end projections are where we are today. This is as of the end of June, 75% of the way through this current fiscal year. We have right now a projected surplus in our general fund. We have a projected surplus in our fire fund. And unfortunately, we are showing some deficits in our health and insurance funds. This is specifically health and then property workers' comp funds. But we have plans in place, and we are able to support and cover the deficits. And our solid waste fund is...
Eliana, just out of a question, excuse me for interrupting. And workers' comp, and this might be for JJ or Catherine, do we have a carrier that's an excess carrier beyond a certain level of liability?
We do.
Okay.
Yep.
You know what level that is offhand?
300,000.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
I have this slide in place because we do have a surplus in the general fund, and the surplus in the general fund does have to follow financial policy, and this is where the financial policy says that surplus would have to go first before it does anything else. Our reserves, this really just shows the fund balance that we have. We've been building up to 20%. This supports us in times of emergency. An emergency is just about anything. It could be a hurricane that comes through, and the ability to make payments on expenses until those expenses come back to us. But you can see we are at 20%. Our financial policy says we should have between 17 and 25%. We are meeting that. And then our other replacement plans, which allow us to take care of things without having to take on debt or not be able to take care of our city. This is our existing debt service. The red bar is voted debt. Those are our GO bonds. You can see that by 2030, they will be paid off, and then the trajectory for the other revenue bonds that we have in the city. We are proudly AAA rated with 2 of the 3 rating companies, and the only reason we are not rated with a third is because we do not have any debt with them currently. So putting together our budget, we are facing environmental conditions. There's state legislature out there that we have to be mindful of. The opportunity for future grant funding, how does that look for things that we're planning to do? Slowing real estate market, how does that affect us? And then other items that really kind of play every year into what happens and how we react to the operations that we have. On July 1st, from Broward County Property Appraiser's Office, we received our total taxable assessed value. This was an increase of about 6.77% over the prior year. Our total taxable assessed value is now $16.14 billion over the prior year of $15.12 billion. This is positive growth. You could see in the prior years from fiscal year 14, so this is after the housing crash in 2008, average increases are about 5-6%. So we're coming back to the historical averages, and hopefully that's where it stays. So where is the money coming from that is in our general fund? We talked about total taxable assessed value. That is the ad valorem taxes. That makes up about 48% of the revenue that comes into the city. Another 25% comes in through our top 8 revenues. 22% comes in through charges for services, user fees, permits, things like that. And then other 5% is some miscellaneous revenues that come in that are not specifically in those segments. I want to focus on the top 8 revenues as soon as we finish this slide. This is just where, once we've identified all the revenues that we have, where are we putting them into our expenditures? And you can see the different departments in the city and their percentages throughout. So on the top 8 revenues, just very quickly, this is high level, all of the top 8 revenues together. And you can see a quick spike after COVID, fiscal year 20 and fiscal year 21. The next slide breaks out all of the revenues. And the reason I break it out is because they are very flat. They've kind of stayed flat. They haven't really gone with large spikes or increases except for a couple, which those 2 are really what's causing the spike on the other chart. And it's the electric utility tax, which is the dark blue, and the half cent. Half cent is showing where it spiked, and now it is coming down, definitely stabilizing and not performing as high as it once did. The state provides us the estimate on that, and the estimate they've provided us this year is less than what it was last year. So we just always want to be careful when we're projecting where we're going to be for the next year, that we don't react to the spikes and that we try to look at the historical growth that these revenues have had in the past. This is almost a 20-year look back, and you can see that the growth is very small, tends to be about 1 to 2%. So the spikes were very unprecedented. And as I mentioned, electric utility, that's one that I am watching, and the half-cent sales tax is another one that I am watching, as they have the opportunity to go one way or another, and we want to make sure that we don't overstate or understate them. And just kind of a reiteration, fiscal year 23 actual, $51 million. Fiscal year 24 actual, $49 million. So you can see that they spiked up, but they are definitely coming back down, and there is enough of a variance that we want to just be very careful in how we're budgeting. Charges for fees. These tend to grow about 3%. They've grown a little bit bigger over the last few years, and that's due to inflation. It's just inflation driven, but now they're stabilizing and going back to a little bit more around the 5%, 5 to 3%. Grants. Take a quick moment here on our grants. So this is last year to this year so far. Last year, we were awarded $3.3 million. So far, to date, $3.7 million, and we still have 2 months to go, and we've got fingers crossed that we've got some big ones that are coming our way. Really great opportunity to highlight the grants team. We've got 2.5 who do a lot of work, and I do have our grants over the last few years, and we've been steadily trying to grow our grants, and federal appropriations are growing, state appropriations, as I mentioned earlier, $500,000 for the Real-Time Crime Center. Just lots of good things happening in our grants team. We also have money that comes into the city and does a lot of work for our residents, such as we have federal funding that comes in. This is specifically through housing and the community development program, or what we call CDBG. We get about $1 million through these two funding sources, $794,000 through CDBG, which I'll talk about in the next few slides, and $237,000 that comes in through HOME. The money is allocated to the city, but Broward County does take care of awarding the funds to our residents. CDBG does a lot of great things. Here's just some pictures of opportunities for these funds and what they've done in the city. This is our fiscal year 26 CDBG action plan. We have Lions Park programmed, $250,000 to really get Lions Park upgraded, and just in that Riverside corridor, we're just putting a lot of money into it. And some other opportunities there, home repair, youth scholarships, lots of good things that come in through that.
Great.
Then we have state funding that comes into the city. This is SHIP, State Housing Initiative Partnership. This is $942,000 that the city has that they can help low to moderate income residents with fixing up their homes. There's local housing authority program, I don't remember, but there's phone numbers if you're interested in the program on coralsprings.gov. Look for SHIP, and there's further information to definitely see if you're eligible for these funding sources. Then at the county level, we receive surtax monies. Through the surtax, we have received in cycle 1, what you see up there in process. There are things in construction phase, planning phase. It says $3.9 million, but the total that is coming into the city for this is about $40 million once it's all said and done for everything, planning, construction, design. That is $40 million doing a lot of work in the city through the county and through surtax. We also recently brought the amendment, which is going to bring an additional $1.6 million into the city through surtax, plus whatever else is going to come in the future. Our 5-year forecast. This was a proposed millage rate increase year. That is the top that's highlighted yellow. We did have, last year, we said that this was proposed to be a millage rate increase. We are not increasing the millage. The millage is remaining the same. We do have a balanced budget today. The 0 at the bottom says that we are balanced, and we are monitoring the future years. Just a quick look, 5.5% increase over the prior year. Just things to look at, things that we monitor, that we make sure that we're paying attention to. All right, again, 30% of your property taxes of the ad valorem is what comes into the city. The rest goes to Broward County Public Schools, Broward County, and the other small taxing authorities. So when you're looking at your bill, there are different names and entities. Just make sure that if you're calling us, that you're calling about the City of Coral Springs portion of your tax bill. We cannot speak to the other entities. Why live in Coral Springs? These are results reflected from our Q1 2025 survey to our residents. On the survey, 73% of the residents that responded are satisfied with life in Coral Springs. The reasons that they are satisfied is attractive neighborhoods, affordable housing, quality education, a feeling of safety, and their recreational opportunities. Then we asked our businesses, and these results are from 2024 survey, why invest your business in Coral Springs? And so 87% of the businesses surveyed were satisfied with the city's customer services, citing areas of high response where they are satisfied as the low crime rate, level of taxation, the overall image of the city, and the attitude of local government towards business. So we are a business-friendly community. We have business incentives and programs. There's the Business Excellence Awards. Our businesses can work with the Real-Time Crime Center to provide them additional safety. There is the facade grants for exterior improvements. Since its inception in 2021, the city has invested $680,000, and the private investment that those businesses have put up against our $680,000 is $12.2 million. There's an Economic Development Advisory Committee. And then on the performance side, 98% business safety rating, 99% satisfaction with police department, 86% process and review business tax applications within 7 days. Since fiscal year, or at the end of fiscal year 24, 104 retention visits were completed. And since 2019, in partnership with the Chamber, there have been 35 Biz Academy sessions hosted. And then we also have a review of site plans within 8 days. The strategic plan has a total cost. This is through the entire city. This is not just the general fund. This is all of our funds together. This is new dollars into the different areas, $4.7 million, and they are all attached to the different strategic goals that line up with our strategic plan. All right. Some of the things on the horizon as they relate to our strategic goals, an active, healthy community. Here we have items that are the ongoing improvements at Kiwanis Park. We have the intergenerational community center that will be done in next fiscal year with enhanced walking paths. The plans to repave walking paths and continue upgrading at our neighborhood pocket parks as part of our recurring capital really is showing that we're putting money into our communities. These types of improvements lead to healthier lifestyles and expand outdoor use for our residents. We are also adding additional turf fields, finalizing improvements at Pride Promoters Park, utilizing our public art fund, and plans to improve Lions Park, as I mentioned earlier, which is right next to the Habitat for Humanity homes. And then we also have activities like Let's Move Coral Springs, which involves our commission, and local businesses are meant to enhance the strategic goal while promoting economic development and building deeper connections throughout our community. Our aesthetics focus continues to evolve, and we are planning to add a pressure washing crew and plans to improve signage, enhance the look of our vehicles, landscape, and trees, all with the goal of creating a sense of place in Coral Springs. Additionally, our roadway paving programs continue. ADA compliant curbing and sidewalk improvements are ongoing, which also lends to the aesthetics of our premier community. So much of what I mentioned earlier in the slides really lends to this attractive community that focuses on aesthetics, especially public art in the parks. Oh, did I skip one? Attractive community, that's the one. And then a thriving, resilient business community. The economic vitality of our city has always been a strong focus of this commission. Grant opportunities, and we now have accessibility to an EDO-run website that promotes our local businesses, Shop Saver Bee. And we also have in our fiscal year 26 budget a pathway for a resilient workforce through our apprenticeship program. And then our innovative, high-performing, sustainable organization. We've made investments in the city's infrastructure, and these were crucial to preventing flooding during the record-setting rains that we had last year. Those investments can be seen in the stormwater projects that we've already completed in the corporate park, in the Meadows and Dells. We are finalizing the stormwater master plan, and in fiscal year '26, we'll be focusing on Westchester. This is just showing the 25 positions that are being requested. These are positions needed to support the strategic plan, all the different strategic initiatives that we have, 12 of which are firefighters that are supporting our public safety. Signature events, these were brought to a previous workshop in May, and we're really focusing on making memorable event experiences for our residents through our signature events. Again, our vision is to be the premier community in which to live, work, and raise a family, highlighted again by our 5 strategic goals, and all flowing into the framework and the guide of our strategic plan. And now we're going to focus on our assessments. We have a fire assessment. This is just a graph of where we are proposing to move to in our assessment against these neighboring fire departments that are full service and ISO Class 1 certified. We do not know what they are proposing just yet. When we come in September, we will have the proposed rates of all of these cities against what we are proposing. Value of our fire fund, just some information on the number of calls that we receive and our response time, which you can see is a very quick response time, 5 minutes and 9 seconds on an EMS response with almost 12,000 calls a year. So our proposal for the fire fund is a $21 residential increase, and then you can see commercial has an increase, and so on and so forth. We did recently complete our fire assessment study, and the maximum rate that we can assess through the fire fund is $458.23. That is the max. Our solid waste assessment, again, just like the fire assessment, this is our proposal against these neighboring cities, probably like-sized in population, against their adopted for fiscal year 25, 24, and 23, but we don't know what their proposal is just yet, but in September we will have their proposals. And the value of our solid waste fund, what do our residents receive for the solid waste assessment? 2 times green cart pickup, 1 time blue cart pickup, weekly bulk trash, recyclables, a waste transfer station. All of these things are the value in the solid waste fund. And just a quick preliminary shot of where all of the assessment is going towards. Our stormwater assessment, again, this is our proposal against adopted figures for other cities. You will see that not all cities have a stormwater assessment, but some are having to now add one. Town of Davie, you can see there's 0 zeros, and then they have an assessment, so they are just now starting their stormwater. And once September comes, we'll see where people are moving to. And the value of the stormwater fund, just kind of reiterating what I said earlier, the projects that we've done, Commerce Park, Meadows and Dells, and the master plan, as well as Westchester, that will be finalized next year. Our water and sewer fund is for residents in the pink area of the map. There are 4 water districts in the city of Coral Springs, so this is only for those who are in the pink district for city of Coral Springs. There is a proposed 12.6% increase, or about an average of $10.20 a month on the water bill. That will be coming through a workshop for additional information. And again, only for the residents in the pink area of the map. We also have a nuisance abatement that we are bringing forward. This is for 18 properties, and they are very specific properties. This does not go on every resident's bill, only those who have a nuisance abatement. And it's specific to code enforcement for nuisance abatement. We do have our museum's budget provided here. There's a lot of wonderful programming in the museum. Lots of good things coming. Really excited about it. Our Tree Trust Fund, this is funded through money received from tree removal. This is not taxpayer money. And we do have some projects coming. There is landscape and irrigation improvements along the West Swale in University Drive. We are putting forward for a grant from the Florida Forest Service, and so we're putting in the match for that. And then as part of our aesthetics in our strategic plan, we also are putting in a street tree pilot program, so there's $90,000 being requested for that. And again, it's all within the Tree Trust Fund, which is through tree removal permits, so not taxpayer money. Unless you had a tree removed. Our Public Art Fund, I just want to remind everyone that the Public Art Fund is funded through fees collected at the, during permitting for new construction and renovations of existing structures. So this is not taxpayer funded. This is through very specific permitting fees for new development. And so we have some projects in fiscal year 26 that are coming online. Artwork for the Pride Promoters Park, the bench that we've talked about, really excited about that one. Cornerstone, a temporary sculpture, and then other opportunity projects, and of course, maintenance of the existing public art that we do have. Back to our general fund, our tax base for our total taxable assessed value is $16.12 billion. Of that, 15.7 is within this pie chart here. There's some that are real personal property that fall out of this. But of our tax base, 80% is residential. Then we have 14.6%. So just under 15% is our businesses. And then a small portion, under 5%, is industrial with some other very, very small segments. So our biggest tax base are our residents, and then the next big portion is our businesses. So we take a look at our businesses as well as what all of this means to our residents. And here we see what makes up our commercial property. So you can see a big portion, 50% of our commercial properties fall between $100,000 and $200,000, or sorry, $200,000 and $1 million in their value. We have about 30% who fall between $1 and $10 million property value, and then we have 6% that are above $10 million. Total properties in the entire in the city is 41,524. That's the total parcels. Of those, 38,000 are residential, a little over 1,000 are commercial, 322 industrial, 1,800 are other. Of the 38,000, 25,000 have a homestead exemption. So 61% of our residential properties are protected by Save Our Homes. So the Save Our Homes exemption protects residents from their property taxable value increasing more than CPI or 3%. And if CPI is higher than 3%, it caps at 3%. This year CPI came in at 2.9, so we did not hit the cap. So property values this year increased 2.9% on the taxable value. And the 61% of our total properties is in line with where we've been in prior years. So we're not seeing that we have less homesteaded residents. What does all of that mean as far as dollars that are coming into the general fund? So we have programmed $92.37 million of ad valorem revenues for fiscal year 26. Of that $92.3 million, 85.3 is coming in from homeowners. Of that 85.3, 56.2 is protected by homestead. So those are our homesteaded properties. $6.5 million of that $92 million is coming in through businesses, and 0.5 is coming in through institutions. Fun chart, if you ever wondered how long or what city has the longest homestead longevity of over 25 plus years. This is the chart. We are right in the middle for having homesteaded properties of 25 plus years. About 17% of our total residential properties have been homesteaded for 25 years or more. And this is our millage rate, 6.0232, the same as what it was last year and the year prior up through fiscal year 22. So 6.0232, it remains the same. This is where we are against the other 31 or other 30 municipalities in Broward County. And so this is our, I just want to show this one real quick first. Here we go. So this one shows fiscal year 22 is where we did a millage rate increase, and we have not adjusted the millage rate since. If I go back, you can see that because our voted debt, it decreases every year, our millage, our total millage between ad valorem and voted debt is actually decreasing year over year since fiscal year 22. Our total debt, our total millage is 6.1891 for fiscal year 26. For the proposal. If you were to pick up your home and move it to another city, and that is all you're doing, you're just picking it up and moving it, we're not taking into account the change in value or anything like that, services that you are provided in that city, this is the difference in what you would pay for taxes and assessments. So again, does not take anything else into account, just the calculations of millage rates, debt millage, and assessments. And this is all 31 municipalities and where we fall. I don't know if you guys know this, but less than 30% of your property taxes come into the city, just in case.
Yeah, we
anyone
know
didn't
this,
get that
but
part.
it's really good to reiterate to our residents and reiterate it and keep reiterating.
So just one more time, 30% is what comes into the city. There are 6 other taxing authorities other than the city of Coral Springs. What does this all mean? What does it mean for our residents, and what does it mean for our businesses? So if I am homesteaded, my total taxable could not increase more than 2.9%. That 2.9% increase on the prior year means my increase on my ad valorem is about $57. My voted debt, because it's decreasing, is about a $2.31 decrease. Then the fire assessment that's being proposed is $21. The stormwater assessment is per ERU, and for a single-family home, that is considered 1 ERU. So $4.35 increase there. And then the solid waste assessment proposal is for $20. So if this was my property with an assessed average taxable value of $346,000, I'd be paying $100 more a year on my City of Coral Springs taxes. Again, I cannot speak to the other 6 taxing authorities. I can only speak to our city. So about $8.34 a month increase. If I owned a condo in the city that had an average taxable value of about $148,000, again, I am homesteaded. Save Our Homes capped me at 2.9% increase. I'm looking at about a $65.09 increase, or about $5.42 a month increase for, again, City of Coral Springs portion of the tax bill only. What does this mean for our businesses? We took a look at a commercial business. So this one about an average small-sized small business, specifically Runyon's. They're looking at about an $818 increase on their City of Coral Springs portion of the tax bill, or about $68.19 a month. And then we also looked at an industrial property. This one specifically happens to have a reduced value, so they're looking at a $6,000 decrease in their City of Coral Springs portion of their tax bill. And then this one was about a mid-sized industrial property. They are looking at about a $4,116 increase on their City of Coral Springs taxes, or about $343 per month increase. So, we are setting trim and our assessments. In September, we are having to advertise because we are collecting more than we did the prior year. State law is that any rate above the rolled back rate has to be advertised as a proposed tax increase. What does that mean? The 6.0232 millage is unchanged, but we will be collecting 5.85 million more than we did the prior year. To not advertise as a tax increase, we would have to roll back our millage to 5.6443 and reduce $5.81 million from the fiscal year 26 budget. And this is what we are bringing for proposal in September, which we are asking to also set that hearing date. That is it.
Thank you. Somebody would like to go first? Any questions or discussion? I just have one or two questions, or maybe really one recommendation. The first one goes to General Fund 5-year forecast. So I always think it's good to explain to us, but especially the public, when you see these deficits projected in future years, how common that is and how we typically address that. The General Fund 5-year forecast.
As Ileana pulls this up, I really want to stress the importance of having a 5-year forecast, which is not industry standard that you have to have one.
Right.
The fact that our city has continued to have a 5-year forecast to be able to project out in futures so that when we make decisions today, we understand that financial future is very important. Also, in doing so, we do kind of share with the public where things are tracking and where we are in that future. The fact that we have a 5-year fund in the general fund, and we do that in all our other funds as well, is something that we are prideful of, as well as when we look at some of our replacement plans. Some of our replacement plans go out 10 to 20 years. Ileana, back to you.
Thank you. So on our 5-year forecast, as I mentioned earlier, the yellow at the top is because we had a programmed millage rate increase for this year. So I do want to highlight in fiscal year 28 and 30 that there are millage rate increases programmed there, as were discussed from prior years, to do smaller incremental millage rate increases as opposed to larger ones. We are looking at the 5-year forecast, knowing that it's not balanced in the out years, but we are ready to handle them as the next year comes up and we see where we land with our total taxable assessed value and some of the other revenue sources that I had discussed earlier in the top 8 and opportunities for adjustments there.
Great. And the other request I have is when you bring this back before us, you go maybe another 10 slides, it's tax-based components by values. This I would appreciate if we look at what it is this year, what it was last year, and what it was 5 years ago. So it'd be nice to have those comparisons and variances, as Robert would say. And that's all I have. Anybody on the left? Okay, on the right? No. Great, we're ready for... No, Sean. I'm so sorry, Sean?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ileana, in addition to what the mayor requested, if you could do a 5-year comparison with the millage rate as well. Because going back 5 years, I'm not seeing it in tonight's presentation.
I have that one.
Oh, I'm sorry, maybe.
Oh, you're, let me just make sure it's what you.
I thought I saw a 5-year projection, but not going back historically.
Correct.
I can break it out for you where we have the operating millage and the voted debt, so you can see the figures for them. I can provide that for you.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
All set?
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
we're not voting on this tonight, correct?
The purpose of tonight's meeting is so that we can give the information to the Broward County property appraisers so that they can then notice what our truth in millage, what our rollback rate is, what our assessments are, and when our public hearings will be in September. So you all are going to give us consensus that you do support what we will be coming back to inform the residents, and at that point, you set the budget in September.
Thank you. Want to make that clear for the residents. All right, I think we're up to number 2. This is the Eliana Show.
Go, Mayor.
Thank you so much.
Mayor, I'll read the resolution. You have several actions to take. One of them is the truth in millage, which we'll talk about, number 6, but we'll start with many of the assessments, and there will all be a request to you accept, adopt, and then set the public hearing. You can always go lower at that public hearing. So it's not the final action, but it is giving the indication of your support. So we'll start with item 2, which is the fire assessment, Resolution 2025-31, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Coral Springs, Florida, relating to the provisions of fire services and facilities and programs in the city, providing for purpose and definitions, providing for legislative determinations, establishing the estimated rate for the fire services assessment for fiscal year beginning October 1st, 25, directing the preparation of an assessment roll, authorizing a public hearing, and directing the provision of notice thereof, providing for an effective date. This is a request to accept, adopt, and set public hearing. So these are not public hearings tonight, but they're setting the public hearing.
Understood, John. Thank you.
Thanks.
Did you want to share, or you're ready for us to take a vote? Okay, ready. So request to accept, adopt, and set public hearing. Is there a motion?
Move to approve?
Second.
And this is to set the public hearing for Monday, September 15 at 5:15 for final adoption of the assessment rates.
Correct.
A motion and a second. Is there discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, any opposed, say nay. All right, carries unanimously. Next is item number 3, Resolution 2025-028, Preliminary Solid Waste Assessment, FY 2026.
This is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Coral Springs, Florida, relating to the provision of residential solid waste collection services and facilities and programs in the City of Coral Springs, Florida, providing for purpose and definitions, providing for legislative determinations, establishing the estimated rate for the solid waste collection services assessment for the calendar year beginning January 1st, 2026, directing the preparation of an assessment roll, authorizing a public hearing, and directing the provision of notice thereof, providing for an effective date. Request to accept, adopt, set public hearing on September 15th, 5:15 p.m. in City Hall, Commission Chambers.
If there are no questions, I'll take a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, go ahead, Commissioner.
As presented and proposed, and I discussed this in my briefing, if voting tonight, I wouldn't approve this. So I'm going to ask that staff go back and look and see how we can make up the difference of the $602,000. Historically, we've put a nice increase on our residents over the last couple of years. To me, I feel like we're in a healthy situation financially, and we're a very talented team. And I think that we can come up with this $20, or come up with hopefully a good portion of the $20, and come back to present to us. For the purpose of tonight, I'll support this item to move forward as presented. But I wanted to speak candidly from my seat that if it comes back at $20, I will not be supporting this item.
I appreciate the candor, Commissioner. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Carries 5-0. Thank you. Next is item number 4, Resolution 2025-029, Preliminary Stormwater Assessment, FY 2026.
This is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Coral Springs, Florida, relating to the provision of the stormwater collection program in the City of Coral Springs, Florida, providing for purpose and definitions, providing for legislative determinations, establishing the estimated rate for the stormwater collection program assessment for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2025, directing the preparation of an assessment roll, authorizing a public hearing, and directing the provision of notice thereof, providing for an effective date, requests to accept, adopt said public hearing September 15th, 5:15 p.m., Coral Springs Chambers.
Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
just a reminder, we're setting the public hearings. Just a reminder, we are setting public hearings, and there's a lot that could happen between now, July 29th, and September 15th. So, just want to make sure I say that one more
Well-
time. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Sure, and along those lines for our public, yes, I'll call on you in a moment. We have Budget and Brews, and it's an opportunity, several opportunities to dig down, and even if those 5 dates don't work for you, you can call our budget office. They'll talk to you, they'll answer your questions. You can call or email or meet with any of the 5 of us about your concerns, your ideas, between now and the public budget hearing, which is in the middle of September. So there's a fair amount of time for you to still weigh in, even though, we begin hearing from you all as early as January 1st, really. So we invite you to participate. I have some more discussion, but I'll hear from Commissioner Sarah next.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. No, I agree that we are setting budget hearings, but I think it's important to give direction to staff, especially if we feel like we're not on board, because unlike other items that we pass, it's a 3-2 vote. This is a 4-1. I would not want to go into that meeting and be like, aha, surprise. And so I'm giving you guys an opportunity to hear my position, so you can do your due diligence as you always do. But understand that a $20 increase at this time is not something that I'm looking for from seat 2. And I look forward to seeing the great work that you guys are going to do from now until the first budget hearing and see what we come up with. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Commissioner?
Thank you, Commissioner Sarah. I appreciate that. I just want to make sure that, folks out in the public space don't take some of our silence as accepting everything that's in the budget or being completely okay with everything and just kind of moving along, right? I want to make sure that, and I do appreciate that we don't have many opportunities as a body to really weigh in on these items. And so I do thank you for giving us a heads up. I just want to make sure that in the public realm, they know that there's still a lot that can happen with this, right, going forward. And that we have multiple meetings with staff throughout this time. We are constantly making ourselves available to hear from residents and weighing in on what we think or how, we view certain items. And so that's the only reason why I added that extra part, because I wanted to just make sure that reminder is out there. So, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Sure, Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I also want to add that many of us, all of us, actually had a briefing prior to this meeting to discuss line items, the budget thoroughly, and ask questions. And so we are up here today to set the budget hearing, but also many of us will attend the Budget and Brews. We all have office hours. Please continue sending your questions to us. I know some of you all have reached out to our offices prior to this meeting to really share your concerns about the budget. Again, this is a working document, and we will work towards getting, and want to thank you, Eliana, you and your team, for balancing the budget. We're at 0, but there is room for us to either adjust and really take into account inflation. We hear you all loud and clear. You all do not want a millage increase, and that is something we are working towards. And we want to make sure that we can afford to pay for what we have. And that is the primary focus of this, and we will continue working with city staff to make sure that we are able to continue to provide you with stellar service and continue making Coral Springs a premier city to which to live, work, and raise a family. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Any further comments? So just one more from me. I really appreciate that we were proactive enough to begin a stormwater a stormwater assessment several years ago, and I really think it's had a positive impact on our community. Thank you for your leadership, Ileana. And with that, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries unanimously. So next is item number 5, 2025, Resolution 2025-030, Preliminary Nuisance Abatement Assessment FY 2026.
It's a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Coral Springs, Florida, relating to the assessment of costs incurred by the city to correct public health, safety, and welfare violations on certain real properties in accordance with Section 184.4 of the city's Land Development Code, determining that certain real property has been specially benefited by the city's abatement of public health, safety, and welfare violations thereon, directing the preparation of a preliminary assessment roll, authorizing a public hearing, directing the provision of notice in connection therewith, providing for conflict, providing for severability, providing for an effective date. Request to accept, adopt, set public hearing for September 15th at City Hall Commission Chambers.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I just want to make sure that is it 18 properties or 19 properties? The presentation has 19, but the parentheses has 18. So, 18, that's on the record. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You bet. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Carries unanimously. Next is item number 6, trim requirements FY 2026.
So there's there's 5 things that's being requested by state law, the truth in millage. You need to address each one of these, but these can be done by one motion. So the first thing that's requested is to establish the anticipated rollback operating millage rate at 5.6443 mils. Secondly, establish the proposed operating millage rate of 6.0232 mils, which is the current rate of 6.0232. Number 3, establish the anticipated voter-approved debt millage rate of 0.1659, which is 6.69% less than the current rate of 0.1778. Fourth, establish the required tentative budget public hearing for Monday, September 15th, 2025 at 5:15 p.m. in the City Commission chambers. And finally, the fifth is to establish the required final budget hearing on Thursday, September 25th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. in the City Commission chambers. Authorize the appropriate legal advertisements to be advertised on or about September 5th, 2025 and September 21st, 2025, addressing the final budget hearing on Thursday, September 25th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. It's a request to approve all those 5 items.
Any questions about the request before us? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second. Any discussion? So I'm glad that we're able to propose the same operating millage rate instead of the increase that had been contemplated a couple of years ago. And I'm glad that we're able to decrease the debt millage rate by about 6.5% from the current rate. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, carries unanimously. And last is item number 7, FY 2026 Business Plan. It's a request to adopt the fiscal year 2026 business plan. I'll entertain a motion to adopt.
Move to approve?
Second.
Any discussion? Just appreciate all the work of our staff, and really a lot of what we put forth comes from discussions from residents, comes from listening to residents like Robert and Joe here. It's teamwork with our citizens and with our business owners, and I appreciate the teamwork. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 All right, carries unanimously. We are adjourned. Our next meeting is August 6, 2025, 9 a.m. I'm 1 minute past my 6:30 deadline. Not bad.